Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a truth that might sting a little but can set you free. Your dream is your responsibility. Nobody else is going to build it for you. Nobody else is going to stay up at night thinking about it. And nobody, absolutely nobody, is going to fight for it like you can. You see, dreams are personal. They're sacred. They're tailor-made to your soul, not someone else's. If you give up on your dream, don't expect someone else to resurrect it. People are busy. Life is full. Even the people who love you might not understand your vision, and that's okay. But if you don't stand up for it, if you don't push through the hard times, if you don't bet on yourself, then don't be surprised when mediocrity moves in. Your dream is like a fire. If you don't feed it, it dies. If you don't protect it, the winds of fear and doubt will blow it out. But if you fight for it, if you dare to keep showing up, keep learning, keep believing, then that fire becomes a force. It lights your path. It warms others. It changes the world around you. But remember this, you only get one shot at this life. Don't hand over your dreams for comfort. Don't expect someone else to hand you a map. Build your own. Get up early. Stay up late. Get knocked down and get back up. Because if you won't fight for your dream, who will? Discipline is the bridge between your dream and its reality. And like any bridge, it has to be built, maintained, and walked across, step by step. It doesn't matter how beautiful your dream is, how vivid your vision, or how sincere your intention. If you lack discipline, it all remains a fantasy, comfortable to think about, easy to talk about, but never lived. Discipline is doing what you said you'd do long after the mood you set it in has disappeared. Anyone can be motivated for a moment. Anyone can feel inspired after a good conversation or a powerful quote. But discipline is what kicks in the next morning when the bed is warm and your goal is cold and distant. It's what gets you up, gets you moving, and keeps you moving when nobody's clapping for you yet. Dreams are free, but discipline is the price tag. That means you must make decisions that are aligned with your future, not your feelings. Your feelings might say rest, but your future says 8 run. Your feelings might say later, but your future screams now. That's the fight, is how you win it, daily, not once. Discipline is not a punishment. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's saying to yourself, I am worth the effort. My dream is worth the sacrifice. It's trading short-term comfort for long-term freedom. Most people trade the other way. They take the easy road and wonder why the view never changes. Look around. Everyone wants success, but not everyone wants to do what it takes. That's where discipline becomes the separator. It's the quiet edge, the hidden advantage, the invisible work that leads to visible results. It's studying when others are scrolling, practicing when others are sleeping, saving when others are spending. Discipline compounds. Every act, no matter how small, builds momentum. And the thing is, discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't need a stage. It works in silence and proves itself over time. It's the repetition of right choices. It's the courage to delay pleasure. It's the decision to keep showing up when nobody else is watching. You don't drift to greatness. You drive there. And discipline is the steering wheel. It doesn't promise ease, but it promises progress. If you want to cross the gap between where you are and where you dream to be, you need more than motivation. You need to wake up, lock in, and commit to doing the work, especially when it's hard. That's the bridge. Not magic, not luck, just you showing up again and again with purpose in your steps and fire in your heart. And when you finally stand in the reality of the dream you once only imagined, you'll look back and realize it wasn't talent, it wasn't chance, it was the daily decision to be disciplined. That's what built the bridge. That's what got you across. You can't hire someone else to do your push-ups. It sounds simple, almost humorous, but it holds one of the most powerful truths you'll ever learn about success, growth, and life. No one else can do your inner work. In this world, there are things you can delegate. You can hire a driver to take you places. You can pay someone to clean your house, manage your calendar, even cook your meals. But there are some things that simply cannot be outsourced. Your personal growth is one of them. Your discipline is one of them. And your transformation is absolutely one of them. If you want to grow stronger, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, you have to do your own work. If you want better results, you have to show up with better habits. No coach, mentor, or motivational video can carry the weight for you. They can guide you, inspire you, and even walk beside you. But they can't carry the load that was meant for your back. Imagine hiring a personal trainer and then asking them to do the push-ups while you stand by and watch. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what people try to do with their goals. They want someone else to build the business for them, to create the discipline for them, to fix their mindset, to make the decisions, to weather the storms. But life doesn't work that way. Growth is non-transferable. You can't inject experience. You can't download confidence. You earn it. One hard rep at a time, one uncomfortable decision at a time, one honest conversation at a time. You have to feel the burn. You have to go through the failure. You have to face the fear. There's no app for that, no shortcut, no secret hack. And that's actually the good news, because if it could be outsourced, everyone would do it, and the results would be meaningless. But since it can't be done for you, that means every inch of progress you earn is yours. Every breakthrough, every victory, every win, you own it. You become the kind of person who doesn't just wish for things, but works for them. And let's be honest, what would it even mean to reach the top if someone else climbed the mountain for you? Would you really want to live in a body someone else shaped, run a business someone else built, or enjoy confidence someone else earned? Of course not. The struggle is part of the reward. It makes the destination real. It makes the victory matter. And that's why no one else can do your push-ups, because the strength you're building isn't just physical, it's spiritual, it's mental, it's personal. So the next time you're tempted to wait for someone to fix it, do it, or carry it for you, pause, ask yourself, is this my set? And if it is, pick up the weight, drop the excuse, and start moving. Because once you accept that no one else can do your push-ups, you unlock the most powerful truth of all. You don't need anyone else to. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better, because the moment you wish life would make things easier for you, you give away your power. You tell the world, I'm not ready for the challenge. Please shrink it down so I don't have to rise up. And life doesn't work that way. It never has. Life is not in the business of making things easier. It's in the business of making you stronger. It's not here to adjust itself to your comfort zone. It's here to call you up, to demand more from you than what you gave yesterday. And if you're listening carefully, it's not saying, and take it easy. It's saying, a level up. Most people spend too much energy complaining about the difficulty of the road instead of preparing themselves for the climb. But growth doesn't come from ease. Progress doesn't come from everything going your way. It comes from challenge. It comes from pressure. It comes from resistance. That's how muscles grow. That's how character is built. That's how greatness is born. The question is not, when will life get easier? The real question is, when will I get stronger, sharper, and more prepared? Because once you grow better, the same mountain doesn't seem as tall. The same obstacle doesn't feel as heavy. The same problem doesn't intimidate you like it used to, not because it changed, but because you did. See, most people are wishing the wind would stop blowing, but smart people learn how to set a better sail, because the wind is going to blow regardless. It's going to challenge everyone. It's going to push against the weak and the strong, but those who prepare, who adapt, who improve, those are the ones who move forward while others stand still, waiting for easier conditions. Don't ask for the test to be taken away. Study harder. Don't wish for fewer problems. Develop more skill. Don't hope for less pressure. Build the strength to carry more weight. That's how you rise. That's how you separate yourself. Not by hoping the rules change, but by changing the way you play the game. The truth is, easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't require courage. Easy doesn't ask for your best, but the hard things, the tough conversations, the difficult decisions, the uncomfortable disciplines, those things sharpen you. They reveal who you really are. And if you keep leaning into them, they shape you into someone you never thought you could become. So stop wishing for the path to be smoother. Start preparing your feet to walk it with confidence. Stop hoping that opportunity knocks quietly and conveniently. Start becoming the kind of person who's ready when it arrives. Life's not asking you to be perfect, but it is asking you to get better, to grow, to stretch, to commit every single day, because the more capable you become, the less you fear the storm. And when that happens, you won't just stop wishing things were easier, you'll be grateful they weren't. Why? Because you'll know it was the difficulty that made you better, and that's what makes it all worth it. Your dream is a seed, and like any seed, it carries unlimited potential, but only if it's planted, nurtured, and protected. A seed doesn't grow just because you admire it. It doesn't grow because you talk about it or post about it or write it down in a journal. A seed grows because you do something with it. The dream you carry in your heart, whether it's a business, a purpose, a creative vision, or a better life, it's not a guarantee. It's a starting point. It's a whisper from your future inviting you to move, but it needs soil, it needs water, it needs care, and more than anything, it needs time. Most people treat their dreams like decorations, not seeds. They admire them, they show them off. But they never bury them in the ground. Why? Because the ground is dark, it's dirty, it's quiet, and it takes time. You don't get applause when you're digging. You don't get instant results when you're watering. But that's the process. That's how growth works. You can't microwave a dream. You can't rush the seasons. You can't demand a harvest when you haven't planted anything yet. And you definitely can't skip the uncomfortable parts, because it's in the dark, under pressure, through the storms, that the roots grow deep. Your dream is fragile in the beginning. If you leave it out in the open, exposed to negativity, doubt, and distractions, it dies before it ever gets a chance to take root. So you have to protect it. Not everyone needs to understand it. Not everyone will see it. That's okay. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. But don't confuse planting with waiting. Once you put that seed in the ground, your job isn't to sit back and hope. Your job is to show up every day and cultivate, water it with action, feed it with discipline, pull the weeds of fear and laziness, keep the soil rich with learning and consistency. That's how you create an environment where growth becomes inevitable. And don't be fooled. Just because nothing seems to be happening on the surface doesn't mean growth isn't happening underground. Nature takes its time. So does success. The most important parts often happen where no one sees. Now here's the beauty. If you stay faithful to the process, one day that seed breaks through the ground. One day the roots turn into results. One day people start to notice what you've been working on in the dark. They'll call it talent. They'll call it luck. But you'll know you watered it when no one clapped. You stayed when it was hard. You believed when there was no proof yet. And that's when it stops being just a dream and starts becoming your reality. So yes, your dream is a seed. It's full of life. But it demands your commitment. You have to give it what it needs. You have to trust the process. And most of all, you have to plant it today, because no harvest comes from the seeds that never left your pocket. The moment you depend on others to care more about your future than you do, you've already lost. And not because people are bad, not because they don't love you, but because it's not their job. Your life, your future, your dreams, they're your responsibility. No one else can carry that for you. Not fully, not faithfully, not the way you can. Yes, people can support you. They can encourage you. They can believe in you. And sometimes they will. But even the most supportive voices eventually quiet down. Even the most loyal people have their own lives to manage. You might get a hand, but don't wait for a rescue. Because if you're standing still, hoping someone else will get you moving, you're going nowhere fast. You have to want it more than anyone else. You have to show up for your own life. Here's a question to ask yourself. Who's working hardest on your future? If the answer is someone else, your coach, your boss, your parent, your partner, then you're already off course. Because no one else should be more invested in your growth than you are. No one else should lose more sleep over your goals than you do. No one else should want your dream so badly that they're dragging you toward it. That's not how progress works. That's how dependency forms. And dependency is the enemy of personal power. If you're always waiting for someone to push you, remind you, motivate you, or check in on you, what happens when they stop? What happens when they're tired, busy, or gone? You're left with no engine of your own. And that's a dangerous place to live, reliant, passive, and frustrated. The truth is, ownership changes everything. When you decide this is on me, your mindset shifts. You stop blaming, you stop waiting, and you stop hoping for someone to fix it. You start moving, you start building, you start acting like the CEO of your own life. Think about it. Nobody's coming to rescue your finances. Nobody's waking up early to sharpen your skills. Nobody's forcing you to read, to practice, to show up when you don't feel like it. That has to come from within. And when it does, everything changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop waiting for validation. You don't need a crowd to cheer you on. You cheer for yourself. You believe in the value of your own future so deeply that even when others don't get it, you keep going. That's when the shift happens. When you take full responsibility for your life, your energy changes. You become magnetic. People notice your fire. They respect your hustle. And ironically, once you stop needing people to believe in you, that's often when they start. But none of that happens if you outsource your drive. None of that shows up if you're just waiting for someone to tell you you're ready. You have to decide deep down that this matters, that your future matters, that the life you want is worth the effort, and then prove it, not with words, but with work, with action, with consistency. Because the moment you hand off your future to someone else, you lose your power. But the moment you reclaim it, you become unstoppable. Work harder on yourself than on your job. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most important philosophies you can ever adopt. Most people spend all their energy trying to make a living, trying to survive, get by, or maybe get ahead just enough to breathe. And that's fine until you realize that the real wealth, the real security, the real future isn't found in the job. It's found in the person doing the job. The marketplace rewards value, not titles, not tenure, not time served. It rewards value. And here's the truth. You don't become more valuable by working more hours. You become more valuable by becoming more capable, more disciplined, more insightful, more you. Your job will give you a paycheck, but it won't give you purpose. It will pay the bills, but it won't build your potential. That's on you. That's the inside job. And that's why your real work begins when the shift ends. Work harder on yourself. Why? Because if you improve, everything around you improves. You don't just get better at work. You get better in life. You start showing up with more clarity, more confidence, more creativity. You become a problem solver, not a complainer, a builder, not a blamer. That's what the marketplace notices. That's what life rewards. Here's what most people do. They fix their resume, but ignore their mindset. They polish their job skills, but never sharpen their thinking. They chase promotion without personal growth. And what happens? They plateau. Or worse, they burn out. Because no job can grow you forever. But you can grow for the rest of your life, if you choose to. So don't just ask, how can I earn more? Ask, how can I become more? Read the book. Learn the language. Take the course. Master your emotions. Build your discipline. Expand your thinking. That's what makes you recession-proof. That's what makes you irreplaceable. Because no one can take away the person you've become. And don't misunderstand, this isn't about ignoring your job. Show up. Give it your best. Be excellent. But don't let it be your ceiling. Let it be your training ground. Let it be the place where you practice the habits you build in your off hours. Let it be the mirror that reflects how serious you are about growth. The best investment you'll ever make is in you, not the clothes you wear, not the car you drive, not the name on your business card. The real equity is in your mindset, your habits, your health, your vision. That's the kind of wealth that pays for a lifetime and spills over into every area of your life. Because at the end of the day, the job can come and go. The title can change. The company can close. But who you are becoming, that stays with you. That's your anchor. That's your leverage. That's your legacy. So work your job with pride, but work on yourself with purpose. That's how you stop living by reaction and start living by design. Excuses are lies dressed up as reasons. They sound smart. They sound logical. Sometimes they even sound noble. But if you peel back the layers, you'll often find fear, doubt, or laziness underneath. Excuses don't protect your future. They protect your comfort zone. And comfort never built anything worth having. Let's be clear. We've all made excuses. I'm too tired. It's not the right time. Sen and I don't have the money. Sen I wasn't raised that way. They sound valid. They even get sympathy. None of them will get you results. Results don't respond to excuses. They respond to effort. Excuses are sneaky. They wear disguises. They show up in language that sounds responsible. I'm just being realistic. Hey, and I'll start when I have more time. It's not my fault. But realism without action is just a well-dressed stall. Delay in the name of timing is often just fear wearing a watch. Blame? Blame is the favorite tool of the powerless. You see, every time you make an excuse, you trade progress for protection. You trade your potential for your pride. You take your power and you hand it off to circumstance. You say, "Pride, it's not me, it's the situation." But here's the danger. Once you believe that long enough, you stop looking for solutions. You stop growing. And the worst part, you start to believe the lie. Excuses are mental junk food. They give you quick relief, but they leave you weaker in the long run. Because deep down, you know the truth. You know you could have gotten up earlier. You know you could have tried harder. You know you could have faced it, but you didn't. So you covered it. With a reason, with a story, with something that sounded smart enough to get you off the hook for now. But life doesn't buy it. Life keeps score. Not with emotion, but with results. Now, does that mean every struggle is fake? Of course not. There are real challenges, financial, physical, emotional. Life isn't fair. But here's the difference. The successful person acknowledges the challenge, but doesn't hide behind it. They say, "Sis is tough, but I'm tougher." They don't deny the mountain. They start climbing, slowly, daily, imperfectly. But they move, because there's a world of difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason leads to responsibility. An excuse leads to avoidance. A reason says, "Tis is hard, but I'll find a way." An excuse says, "Tis This is hard, so I'll give it up. And if you live on excuses, eventually you become a master at explaining why your life doesn't work, instead of doing the work that makes your life better. So what's the solution? Start telling the truth, not to others, to yourself. Be honest about where you're slacking. Be real about where you've been hiding, and then do something about it. No fanfare, no drama. Just one better choice followed by another. Because once you strip the lie out of the excuse, what's left is an opportunity, a chance to grow, a reason to rise, a challenge to face, not run from. Remember, the more excuses you make, the less power you have. But the more truth you face, the more unstoppable you become. So take back the power, drop the excuses, and get to work. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That's it. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not reserved for the chosen few. Success is built quietly, day by day, step by step, through small, repeated decisions that compound over time. The truth is, most people already know what to do. The gap isn't knowledge, it's consistency. Think about it. Brushing your teeth takes 2 minutes. Not a big deal. Do it every day. You've got healthy teeth. Skip it. Not a crisis tomorrow. But keep skipping it. And down the road, it costs you. That's how life works. The things that matter most don't feel urgent in the moment, but they add up. Always. It's the little things done well, repeatedly, that make the big things possible. Reading 10 pages of a good book today won't change your life. Neither will walking for 20 minutes, or saving a small amount, or writing your goals down. But do that for a year? You've read 12 books, taken 7,000 minutes of steps, put away hundreds or thousands of dollars, and trained your mind to focus. Now, you're not just wishing for success, you're building it. But here's the catch. Those disciplines are easy to do, and just as easy not to do. Skipping the small stuff doesn't hurt immediately. That's why most people ignore it. It's easy to tell yourself, it's just one day. But that's how you slide, not all at once, inch by inch. And before you know it, you're not just behind, you're stuck. Discipline is the great divider. It separates the hopeful from the committed. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things daily, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Anyone can be disciplined once. Anyone can be motivated for a day, but success comes to those who make it a habit, who show up when it's boring, who do the work when no one's watching, who say no to comfort and yes to growth again and again and again. And the beautiful thing, discipline multiplies. Master one small area of your life, and suddenly other areas begin to fall in line. Wake up early consistently, and you start managing time better. Eat clean consistently, and your energy improves. Speak with discipline, and your relationships deepen. You don't need a revolution. You need repetition. You don't need to do everything overnight. You need to do something every day. The gym, the journal, the budget, the plan, the book, the reflection. These aren't random. They're the tools of those who build lives on purpose. And if you'll stick with it, if you'll keep your promises to yourself long enough, you'll wake up one day and realize this is working. Success didn't show up all at once. It showed up in the mirror, gradually, quietly, unavoidably, as the natural result of disciplined living. So keep it simple, stay steady, and never underestimate the power of a few good choices made every single day.